is reeling from the tragic news of the passing of Jessica Horowitz in the terrible accidents earlier this week. I'd like to dedicate these short words of Torah, Ilu Nishmasa, for the elevation of her neshama, and in the merit of the completely Refuah Shlema to Noah Horowitz, and for a healing of the soul to the entire family. The sixth Torah portion, Parshat Mishpatim, the beginning of the Parsha discusses the obligations a husband has towards his wife. And the Torah says even if a person marries a girl from a very, very poor background, very poor social backgrounds, he has to make sure not to neglect providing for her physically, financially, and emotionally. And this is the source of what our sages say. There's a commandment for husbands to ohev is ishto kegufu mechabdo yosem kegufu. Husband has an obligation to love his wife like his own body, kegufu, like his body, and to honor her more than his body. So this is a funny expression. What does it mean to honor your wife like your body? So I believe this is really reminiscent of another phrase which our sages say, isha kegufu. A wife is actually like part of your body. And this is actually true in a halachic sense. The Torah looks at a marriage not simply as a partnership, but actually a merger, a becoming of one person. So what does it mean practically? What does it mean that we're actually one person? So halachically, for example, the mitzvah of Chanukah, the mitzvah for every person to light the Chanukah menorah. The halacha says that some opinions hold that if a husband lights, his wife doesn't have to light because she already lit by lighting with him. So it also works vice versa. So the halacha looks at marriage as if you're becoming one person. So what does it mean to love your wife like your body? What does that mean? What it means is, say our sages, that means that the needs of our spouse should become our needs. I have a teacher that once said, if your spouse wants new blinds, new curtains, it should become your need. You shouldn't simply say, okay, to make her happy, I'll follow through with it. I'll indulge her. You have to want it yourself. If your wife wants it, then you have to want it, and that's the goal of marriage: to make our spouse's needs our own needs, not simply for the sake of showing bias, not simply for the sake of promoting peace, but for the sake because that is the goal of marriage. The goal of marriage is to make our spouse's needs our own needs. I want to share with you a very beautiful anecdote that illustrates this idea. There's a halachic principle that a person shouldn't do any mundane activities before davening in the morning. A person shouldn't do their business before davening in the morning. And there's a discussion whether the person can have a meal before davening. A person shouldn't have a large meal before davening. So someone once asked Rabbi Yosef Chaim Zonnefeld, asked him, Rabbi, is it permitted to have a cup of coffee before davening? And he said, it's okay, it's permitted. The student persisted and said, but Rabbi, you never drink coffee before davening. You're always careful. No, you don't drink coffee before davening. Why is that? So Rabbi Zonnefeld said, you're totally allowed to. The reason why I don't drink coffee before davening is because if my wife knew that I would enjoy coffee before davening, she would always get up early every day to make me a coffee. I know her. And in order to save her from getting up early, I don't drink any coffee because I want her to have those extra minutes of sleep. This is a beautiful concept, but it really illustrates the idea of making our spouse's needs our own needs. And this is actually a lesson that I've observed in the beautiful relationship between Jessica and Noah. I've often had the privilege of teaching classes in their home, and whenever Noah wanted to have a class there, Jessica would make sure that the home was comfortable for all these people to come in, and she greeted us all with warmth and excitement that we're going to learn Torah in her home. And it was clear that she was so excited that her husband was learning. She was so excited to participate with us, and it was clear that in her relationship with her husband, his needs were her needs, and her needs were his needs. We all learned these beautiful lessons, and may Jessica's memory be a blessing for all of us. Have a wonderful Shabbos.